Hi guys, today I want to talk about chains a bit more because there have been lots of questions at my first molten speed wax video. So today I'm trying to sum up all the important steps you need to make to create a super fast chain for racing, but for training as well. So what are you going to need? Well, first of all, you need a chain to start with, and you can make quite some educated guesses based on friction facts tests, because what I'm holding here is a SRAM Red 11-speed chain, and it turns out that it's not very fast. It's around 1.5 watts slower than, say, a Shimano chain, which is the market leader. So definitely a good thing to check out first is the chain you are going to use. So Shimano is the best in 11-speed and 10-speed system as well. So that's a good consideration. When you buy a new chain, it comes with some factory grease on it. So of course, before waxing you need to remove that altogether. That is best done with some mineral spirit or degreaser, so just regular chain cleaner. And then you basically have a clean chain. In order to further enhance the performance, the chain is also it also needs some breaking in. And you can see it in this chain that, well, maybe it not be as obvious in the video, but it's clearly seen that the rollers themselves are quite polished now, because this chain has around 200 kilometers on it under race use. So that's what lowers the friction by further half a watt or so. And you shouldn't really hold on to your race chain for too long, because it's going to be the most effective from breaking in to, let's say, the first 1,000 kilometers, and then you're going to add more friction if you use it further. So today I'm going to prepare my Yaban black chain. It has a black DLC coating on it, so it could be even faster than the Shimano model, but I can't really know for sure because it hasn't been tested by friction facts as far as I know. So, but definitely a very high quality chain with some really intricate details in it and a super nice black coating. So if you want to create the fastest possible chain, then first we need a chain that's extremely clean. And the first step, of course, is removing the oil, but since my chain has never been oiled, it's not very dirty. So what I'm going to do is skip directly through the second step of the process, which is ultrasonic cleaning, which is probably the best way to get a sparkling clean chain with no grease and other lubricants on it. But the fluids you can use in an ultrasonic cleaner have to be water soluble, so that means they can't remove grease and grime very well. So before you do that, you need to make sure that the factory grease is off, again by some regular degreaser in a canister. So okay, so let's just look at the ultrasonic cleaner now, and I'm going to share some details about it as well. So let's get on to the next step. I've placed my ultrasonic cleaner outside the workshop for a purpose, because it makes quite an irritating noise. So that's not a good listening if you do it for a prolonged time. So here's my chain that I'm going to clean, and my solution is already in there, and it consists of a special ultrasonic cleaner. This is AG2 Max, probably based on some kind of silver salt, and I put 1 part of this to 5 parts of distilled ionized water. So that's basically our cleaning solution. Since this this chain has already some old wax in it, and I wanted to make it factory clean or surgically clean to be more precise, I'm going to do long intervals of cleaning. I'm also going to use heating, so I'm going to heat it up to 60 degrees Celsius, because that's when, 65 as well, that's when the wax breaks down, so the chain is going to be cleaner. and I'm going to use 6-minute intervals where I'm going to rotate the chain and shake it in a bit of different ways so I get it completely clean. And around 3 or 4 cycles we'll see how the chain looks, but it should be super clean after that and ready for waxing. So I'll just start into it. Yeah, the orientation of the chain doesn't really matter now, but I have rewaxed it twice and also repowdered it, so now I think it needs a fresh coat. So yeah, in the bin, and then yeah, 65 degrees. Well, that's actually a bit too much, I think. Let's just settle with 60, that's okay. And we're going to add, let's say, 7 minutes. Okay, now you're not going to be able to hear me very well because of the noise, but maybe you can see some flakes already removed in the ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, now that the cleaner is up and running, I'll show you some of the things that I'm going to use. So obviously quick links are the best if you wax your chain, and if you clean it regularly you can take it on and off, and you can actually use these multiple times. There's no worries. I have some that I've used 20 times and they still hold up fine. I think they're still more reliable than quick links because rivet links, because I have had those fail in the past. So SRAM quick links, very good. I use this for every type of chain and they hold up fine. Of course, chain tools, but preferably you should already have your preferred chain length. These pliers are very handy for removing if you do it often. This is a training chain of mine. Then some raised powder, plastic bag to store your powder chain, then a little plastic bin or box. Here's where I put the powder on with that little brush, and also can give it a good shake when the chain is in there so it's completely covered by the powder. Then also a piece of wire that you thread onto the folded chain when you're waxing it, and then you can hang it by the end. Gloves, good idea to use these because the wax gets pretty hot and also the powder can get quite messy. That's probably the only messy part of this setup. And then the wax itself, I have quite a lot in my Russell & Hobbs slow cooker, so it takes quite a long while to melt it, probably an hour or even a bit more. I haven't measured it exactly. So this is not completely fresh wax, but I know it's completely clean because what I've done the mistake that I have put some previously ridden uncleaned chains in there before waxing, so it had a bit of dirt in it. But I used these regular coffee filters and I basically filtered it when, well, I melted it completely, heated it up really well, and then poured it into containers through these coffee filters, and the residue and the dirt stayed on the bottom and on the filter. So now I've got used but completely clean wax. That's a good tip. Coffee filters, really cheap, and you can get them everywhere to make your wax clean. Obviously, the cleaner it is and the cleaner a chain is, the less friction it's going to have and the more penetration you're going to get with the chain. Then when my wax is melted, my chain is in there, then it's also quite important to leave the chain in there for quite a bit so the temperatures even out. And then when you're ready, you shake it off, and I'm just going to hang it somewhere on this wall and let it cool so it's ready for the powdering process. Okay, now I hear that my ultrasonic cleaner has stopped, so I'm going to rotate the chain now and do another run. Okay, now after roughly 1 hour of ultrasonic cleaning and one change of fluid, the chains are now basically surgical clean. You can see it. This is the Shimano Durace chain, and these are a Bomb Black chain. Both are super clean but still wet from the cleaning fluid. The time it took to clean the chains was basically enough to melt the wax, so now what I'm going to do is blow the cleaning fluid off so they're completely dry. I'm going to use the compressor for that. The basket of the ultrasonic cleaner is actually very handy for this job, so let's just do it. Okay, that should do it. You can hear the compressor just kicked in because the pressure in our system dropped. Now what I'm going to do is take a piece of wire, thread the chains onto it. I really like to do kind of a diagonal thread, so that makes manipulation quite simple. So you just pick your chain here loosely and form kind of a square out of it. Like that. Okay. Nice and square, and you can see we can easily thread the wire now through this bit. So that's what I'm going to do now. Yeah, almost through. I should get the last one as well. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much done. Just put this one on as well, so we have no loose bits and the chain doesn't tangle when we manipulate it. And now it's pretty much complete. I also degreased the surface of the table so we don't get any oil on it now. You can see how clean it is, super nice. And yeah, now it can go straight in the box, so I think that's pretty hot now. So in it goes. Okay, and now we'll do the same thing with this chain, and we'll make sure to leave it in there for long enough that it reaches the temperature of the box, so they get in an equilibrium. That's when you get the best adhesion. You can see air bubbles coming out now. I need to adjust it a bit. There's probably still a chunk of wax that's solid in there, so yeah, it will take a couple more minutes until it's ready. Okay, so let's do the other chain and then do the waxing process. Okay, now the chains have been there for quite a while, so let's just start removing them. It's a good idea to give it a good shape to make the components in the wax more homogeneous, so you get a better lubricating coating in there, or something like this. Be careful to not spill it because it's really hot now. Yeah, it should do the job. Just want to make sure to rip off as much excess as I can. This hanger luckily is very stable, so I can shake it quite violently and it doesn't tangle too much. Yeah, this one's done. Just hanging in there. And wait for the drips. Okay, now the Shimano chain. Good shake. Okay, we can also turn the heater off now. Get rid as much as possible. Yeah. Okay. Shimano chain done. Leave it in there. You have the chains hanging off to dry now. That should only take a couple of minutes. Make sure to turn off the heater. Don't ever leave it unattended because it can burst into flames if something goes very wrong. And afterwards, there's only really just one step to go. If you are using this as a training chain, then this is basically done. It's finished. Or if you don't have a race powder, this is finished as well. But if you do, have this little bad boy here, super nasty molybdenum powder. Then what you do is put it in a sealed container, make sure it doesn't spill. Put some powder in there and apply the powder on the chain with a brush. And what I also do is I close the chains in there and give them a good shake, and that gives pretty good coating on there. And then they're either ready to install or just put them away in some kind of refillable plastic container. And then we're done. I also tend to use new quick links for races, but I have never had one fail even after I use it 20 times, so it's just a precaution. But maybe it's worth it. They're not that expensive anyway. Okay, so I think this pretty much sums up every little detail of the chain waxing process, and I tried to list everything you could possibly need to achieve a fully professionally waxed chain. You get a super low friction drivetrain like this one. And if you want to know more about my bikes and more about high-end cycling related stuff, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I have new stuff coming up all the time. But it's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.